Hi, I'm Dina decentart.com, and I'm here with Nina Cahill, and she is the curator of this wonderful event tonight. She has brought Amy Myers, a New York artist, here to Sea Island, to this beautiful home, staged her art so fabulously. I hope you can see what's in the background back there. That is one wonderful piece. And I want to ask you about how, number one, you met Amy and how this all came about.
Well, I met Amy at the Creativity Conference on Sea Island, and they put together panels of a cross-section of just the most incredibly fascinating people. So Amy was at the Creativity Conference in 2023, and the dinner before the event, I was seated at her table, and we began speaking. And Amy is out of New York. I'm a New Yorker, so you know, we New Yorkers down here kind of immediately bond. She is a fascinating individual with a science background that took a pivot into the art world. So we spoke after the Creativity Conference, and she was so enthusiastically received by the members and the community that we spoke about me representing her down here. She's got representation worldwide, but none down here specifically.
Right.
Fast forward, Sea Island wanted her to come back again this year, and she came back for a second time as a speaker presenting her art in 2026. Prior to that, her and I had been brainstorming about doing just this kind of a show.
Okay.
So that was our meeting.
And how did you come up with this? I think it's an incredibly smart idea to have it in a home setting where people can come in, wander around, enjoy the art, the view, this beautiful home. How do you come up with that?
You know, when I first got here, I have connections with a lot of artists. I lived in Miami for a little while, was involved with a gallery from Amsterdam, and we were collectors of theirs. We became friends. We helped them out at Art Basel. I got here, and they're incredible artists as well, or he's the incredible artist, and their art is around the world. I said, you guys really need to come to Sea Island. I don't know if you'd have anybody down here. I think you would do really great. There are spectacular homes. There are a variety of people that would be interested. The artist himself, his wife runs the gallery. Her name is Suska, and Suska said, you know, I'll be in Miami for Art Basel. Why don't I pop down afterwards? We have, you know, our 14 crates of art, and we'll just get them down to Sea Island. And I said, great. I said, I'll do it at my house. This would be fun. So we did. We said, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I said, you know, I don't know that many people. I kind of just got here, but I'll tell everybody, and it's open house, pre-Christmas. We'll have a party. It was so well received. People just thoroughly enjoyed it. I think they sold like 30 pieces that night. And it wasn't being pushed as, you know, you're coming to see art. Come to my Christmas open house. I have this great artist. He's going to be showing his art, Picasso in style. They sourced Picassos. They brought some Picassos. So it was such a hit, we decided to continue to do it, and then I started to branch out with other artists. Interestingly enough, this is how art used to be shown in private homes, back in the Industrial Revolution, really. And my great-great-grandfather actually founded the first gallery in the United States in Brockton, Massachusetts, with Andrew Carnegie, and they did it in a public library. But prior to that, they called it Salon-Style, because it was generally the wealthy that would have people come to their homes and paint their portraits, etc. And so I was aware of this, but it wasn't even on my mind when I was doing this kind of thing. And as this has grown and gained enthusiasm, I call it my salon style, which is how it was referred to back in the late 1800s.
I absolutely love that.
So you have the artist has a captive audience as opposed to going to a convention. You get to see it in a home.
And that's how you want to see. This is how I want to see art. I want to see it in home lighting, not in under 100 lights.
With 1,000 people hovering over you, right?
You know, with 1,000 people hovering over you. This is what you know, when I read that you were doing this, I thought, what? And I've never been to a salon-style art show, and I don't know if any of my followers have either, but how wonderful is this? And I think it's a great thing to do, and I hope it's a hit. I mean, I hope it continues to go, because I really want to come to another one.
Oh, I love doing it. I love doing it. We're planning others. I did the one in October for Kaga. And yes, Amy's took a little bit longer because her art requires a very specific venue.
Right.
And I was doing it out of the various homes that we've lived in here, and I could probably not fit that through my front door. And I wanted something with high ceilings and lights, and this became available to use, and it couldn't be more perfect.
Next question. So the pressure, and you're sitting here, cool as a cucumber. How do you feel? And this is, I caught you right before this event starts, so I know it's crunch time. You got to get all the food out, make sure the flowers are perfect, make sure, and you've got a Sea Island expectation.
Right, right. Well, like anything in entertaining, the devil's in the details, right? There's always something that explodes at the last minute. It's a lot of organization, so I start way in advance of what I need and lining all things up. But you're right, the last week or two, and especially a couple of days, is really, really crunch time. And you just take a deep breath and keep going.
So what's your biggest challenge, would you say, about these kind of events?
You know what is an interesting challenge is gauging the number of people.
Right.
Because it is an event that I do when I send out an invite, ask for RSVPs, but everyone is welcome. So it's a combination of an open house and an RSVP event. So one of the most challenging things is gauging how many people you're going to have. As we all know, even with RSVPs, people that say yes, sometimes things come up and they don't come. And with this kind of an invitation out there is bring your friends, it's an open house. They could be bringing who knows and not let you know.
Right.
But it's worked out. Liquor never goes to waste.
Oh.
But otherwise, I mean, it's all run really smoothly. I've had the great fortune of being able to work with amazing people.
You gotta tell us what you're up to next. We gotta know.
Oh gosh, what's next? Maybe a month off. No.
Yes.
What's next? Well, I'm thinking about doing something with a New York designer of clothing, handbags, and art. I don't want it to get stale to the extent that people are like, oh yes, it's another art show. I want to keep it fresh,
right,
with a fresh twist. So for entrepreneurs or people just out, it's a great way to promote. And also, we have a captive audience here because there's nowhere for women to go shopping. So I think the next one will be something like that. Amy and I are planning another event, and then I'll probably do something again. I'll definitely be doing something again in October that's just art in a different kind of a venue.
Well, I'm gonna let you jump off the camera. I know you got a lot of little details to check on and stuff, and I'm so glad you took the time today. Thank you for sitting down with me and talking, and hopefully there's a bunch of art sold tonight.
I think we'll have a blast.
I think we will too.
We'll drink a lot of champagne regardless.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank
Dina.
you.